space they can provide for free hit feathered airstrikes from the Farsa. Welcome to game number 1 of Series 2 for this evening. It's Group D, zetadivision versus mythicseal.
That's right. So mythicseal, obviously, we already highlighted, we already laid down their win conditions for this one. Basically, go on the hunt for the Kimmy and the Lancelot, and you could be fine. Again, with the help of like a grok, that should not be too much of a problem. I guess the biggest problem is how do you actually just get to the point where you can do the hunting and not the Lancelot hunting you instead.
Exactly. You're gonna have to be proactive here. You're gonna have to be the one starting things off initially. So, a little bit more of a conservative start at the center of the map for Boye and Zhenju. Meanwhile, Kun, we were talking about the X Factor, the EXP lane. Kun might have been a little bit too greedy.
Ooh.
Way too greedy. He forced out the flicker though, but he utilizes Petrify. He went down. Not a good trade.
Yeah, absolutely not a good trade here. But again, the job is to hunt down Katsu, and so far, Boye and Nico has been doing it very well. Again, forcing out the flicker is already one. Oh, he switched back to flicker. I didn't notice that. Yeah, and purify as well is out of the purify rather means it's just gonna be easier for mythicseal to keep going and rinse and repeating on the mid, like what they're doing right now.
King Flash, easy shadow kill to take down Kani. Roamer down, and that's gonna be zetadivision taking a L leading up to the turtle. The good thing is though that 10 is still alive and they can still contest for this next one. A little bit more conservative now also is Kun after what happened to him to start off the game.
Well, that's absolutely right. He should be conservative, right? Because, ooh, nice fancy footwork there for Nico. King Flash on the side, and I think they're going to start working on that bottom side rotation, although there are 4 members present for Mythic as well. Want to make it happen on the bot side.
Kun yet again spotted out by zetadivision. That's going to be advantage for zetadivision. They should start off this turtle already. Falling Star Moon to the back, coming in from Moyminet, and they're going to be going forward. The Lapu and Hilda together with a feathered airstrike blasts them down. Kani goes down yet again. The second death for him this game. Meanwhile, Ruby DD, Boye, and Nico trying to extend this turtle take, trying to buy time. They will not be able to get that time as 10 gets the turtle. Black Dragon form. But for what, my good man? Kun, the fight has already been settled. You've wasted an ultimate.
Yeah, it's a big waste of an ultimate. I mean, in fairness, it will be up in a few, and his opponent is probably just going to be that Lapu, but still, man, there was a world where zetadivision could have actually rotated bot side and waited for him, so luckily here for mythicseal, again, they will still have the waves in their favor. Their turrets are pretty much intact. So zetadivision, they're happy to just keep farming up on that Lancelot, keep getting more resources on the Kimmy as well. Ooh. And the salvo is going to be the last salvo, just missing out for Nico here.
Yeah, Nico was able to predict the second to the last one really well, but June 1 was able to sidestep it. Now, mythicseal and zetadivision, very even game so far. Who do you think, where will be like the main focal point be? Where, if ever, will it crack first for either of these two teams?
I'm looking at that Kimmy, man, because I feel like the Kimmy is the biggest pain point here for zetadivision, especially without the Purify. So right now on the bottom side, though, a little bit of payback being given over. And of course, King Flash going to make sure you're not going anywhere there. That's a pretty decent move coming in from mythicseal. Very calm and collected and surgical precision, taken down June 1.
Both of these teams have a great understanding of the lineups of both. We mentioned EXP lane as the X Factor, and there has been so many rotations committed to the EXP lane to try and get advantage. Although Kun still has the deficit compared to Lapu of June 1. 10 just built up the War Axe. zetadivision will be able to start things off here at the turtle. Kun takes a lot of damage yet again, eating a Falling Star Moon and the Thorn Rose from the Lancelot. So it's going to be pulled out by zetadivision so that mythicseal will have to work just a little bit harder to get this turtle.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be working harder here, but it is going to be a 5v5, and Boye, pretty decent in control here. Very early back Black Dragon form here, trying to see if he can get a measure of 10, and Moyminet actually is the one gets that turtle. What a messy team fight here for Zeta.
Meanwhile, they're still gonna continue the fight here, and that is mythicseal getting a massive win. 3 members of zetadivision taken out, and mythicseal have solidified their lead in this series, in this game specifically, as now the Black Dragon form, though early as it was, bought just enough time for mythicseal.
Zeta might have actually tunnel visioned a little bit too hard on that one to get the turtle. And then they were not like paying attention to the number of bodies and the number of skills that were actually running their way. Yeah, that's they lost the turtle, but you know what? mythicseal got some pretty good map control because of that, and will get more gold in their pockets. They're starting to build up a pretty solid lead as well.
All the crowd control and burst that mythicseal has is making every team fight uncomfortable for zetadivision. But now we're getting close to the point where mythicseal are 1 or 2 big team fight wins away from getting a massive turnaround in their favor. But when mlbbd gets spotted out in the center, it looked like mythicseal were trying to set up for something, a play, a turnaround, but they just couldn't get it in time as mlbbd gets punished.
Yeah, mlbbd on the Ruby is just, you know, it is Ruby. So it just doesn't feel the same, but yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely the role that he needs to do. He's trying to do as much as he can to get back in the lane here. Again, waiting for Boya to make a big play, waiting for King Flash. That turret might just fall very, very soon here. I think it might turn into a 3v4. I don't know if this is a good call here for mythicseal, but they're gonna sure as hell try.
Whoa! They need to back off as Boya commits a tectonic charge and the flicker as well. Massive stun coming in for zetadivision through the Landshaker, but mythicseal are still holding on. Feather airstrike to safety. Katsu gets taken out eventually, and that Kimmy is gone. No more major damage dealer for zetadivision. mythicseal and Zeta traded out mid laner for EXP laner.
Yeah, I know they made that call here, but that looked really bad. But you know what, mythicseal, with the movements of Kun, that sacrifice is very worthy, man. You're slowing down Katsu, and you're giving your team more space to farm up, especially that Hayabusa. So you're doing a very good job, and might just cost them a good positioning on the turtle, since, you know, as you can see, trying to fight on the mid, mlbbd.
Oh.
With the I'm offended.
Really good pull there, but it might have been a little bit too early. He does get that very quickly, but will he have it back in time? Feathered airstrike just to try and take down Connie? A little bit too eager there for mythicseal, and now traction pulse, massive turnaround for zetadivision. They locked in too hard on the Hilda, and now mlbbd is gonna get caught by 3 members of Zeta. I'm offended, and the Don't Run Wolf King controlling them, but the King Flash, shadow kill is not enough. Zetadivision have punished some greedy plays from mythicseal.
Yeah, bro, your initial call there was absolutely on point. That I'm offended way too early, and zetadivision knew it.
Feathered airstrike as well. mythicseal trying to scramble to find a turnaround again. mlbbd, now that's perfect. But Katsu able to flicker away, showing off why he picked up that battle spell, the immobilized entry, but the tectonic charge counter by Boye is perfect. Kani gets punished. zetadivision, though, have minimized their losses.
They've got some really decent engage, so much engage actually, but it feels like the damage is not quite where I expect it to be at 9 minutes in the game, man. mythicseal, I don't know, maybe Nico's having a hard time pulling consistent feathered airstrikes, but he's the main guy. Oh, just when I say it, though.
Nico single-handedly finding out there, but the Landshaker plus the flicker from June 1 evens out the punish, but 10 finds the solo kill onto Kun in the bottom lane. That's actually a big win for zetadivision now, as mythicseal, their map is getting smaller and smaller. No mid towers have gone down just yet, though, and that is going to be the next key for these two teams. Which tower in the mid will get taken down first? Meanwhile, the Hayabusa gets spotted in the mid lane. He does not commit the shadow kill. Both back off.
Yo, 10 is popping off, man. 10 is popping off. That was a solo kill on the Kun, and that's exactly what zetadivision needs at. And if we haven't noticed, but they're actually ahead now in gold, meaning that all the small moves they're making are actually really adding up, giving them a big breathing room, and maybe, just maybe, a little bit of advantage coming into this next Lord fight.
mythicseal will start things first off though. King Flash takes a brunt of damage from the Lord. A pullback by Ruby DD means the Esmeralda used the Purify already. Entry feathered airstrike, perfect spot there for Nico. But mythicseal are holding on to their formation, and that's going to be mythicseal going down. 10 gets the kill though onto the Ruby. That's going to be a trade 1-for-1. mythicseal still continuing the fight alongside zetadivision. King Flash able to shadow on out of there as 10 almost got taken down by him and Boye. But the Lancelot still survives.
A little surprised that was just a 1-for-1. Right now, look at that, June 1. It's super duper low. And so far, it does feel like the proper people, or the people who are supposed to stay alive, are staying alive for zetadivision, at least for now. So, good job so far for Zeta in keeping the tempo up. But then again, they have like a very delicate balance. They have a very delicate soft spot on Katsu that they need to take care of. So, it's up to Boye, right? It's up to Boye to make something happen, to make an unexpected charge to make a play here. Yeah, they're not giving any inch.
Both junglers have Malefic Roars now. Massive power spikes on the way. Hilda spots out the Farsa. Moonminute goes in with a Falling Star Moon. Near perfect there. Shadow already committed by King Flash. 4 of them already utilized. zetadivision might want to use this time, but they're looking towards the Grok. Here comes the Black Dragon form coming in for mythicseal, but Ruby DD also has a good angle. Shadow kill. Shut down though. But Katsu miraculously gets the last hit on the Lord. Despite 10 going down, Zeta gets the Lord through sheer miraculous will by Katsu. And 2 members of mythicseal have fallen. Grok left behind. Boye will fall. 3 members of mythicseal are down.
They really, really needed that Lord there. And again, 10's going down early. I really thought that was going to be a mythicseal Lord. But man, oh man, Katsu really took it by surprise. Look at that though. Ruby DD making another engage. I guess they're trying to go for broke here. And Ruby DD is going to be falling very soon. Here comes that follow-up from Nico.
Feathered airstrike stops the members of zetadivision's advance. And now the threat of the win here. Still not completely endable. Way too many towers to take down unless mythicseal get too greedy, get too sloppy. And zetadivision will punish. Here comes the traction pulse. Misses. Boye does have his ultimate. He commits the tech charge. mythicseal, not enough follow-up. Feathered airstrike now committed onto the Lord to bring it down. Kun able to get away from it as well. zetadivision now still standing in front of the base of mythicseal. Shadow kill committed there by the Hayabusa. June 1 and Moonminute really low, but no kill there for King Flash. zetadivision still in control.
Yeah, they're holding on to that inhibitor turret, but I don't know if that is going to be enough to slow down Zeta. They got all the gold they need now. And that is decent, especially on Kimmy. I think we're nearing Divine Glaive on that guy. And this could... Oh, actually, it's going to be Feather of Heaven. And it's just going to make it harder for them to catch him. So, yeah, so far, zetadivision making the correct decisions. They're making all the right moves. mythicseal going for broke.
A little bit too close there for comfort. zetadivision now moving together as a 5-man unit. Still just managing the minion waves, pushing them out to continue the pressure. 58 seconds until the next Lord spawns. mythicseal definitely will have the wave clear that they need to clear up the minion waves. Quickly check if you can contest the Lord or actually go for the full contest. Definitely, though, they need to keep Nico alive because that's going to be their main ticket for defense. If ever things don't go mythicseal's way, they're gonna need to send Nico back to clear up and defend.
That's true. I think the defense is just gonna be so crucial. Again, Nico is actually the main damage dealer for some reason. The King Flash's damage, even on a solo shadow kill target, is just not enough to take out most members of zetadivision for some reason, right? I'm not sure why, but yeah, it's just not as good as they think. Oh, look at that.
zetadivision threw everything at Ruby DD, thinking they'll be able to take him down. They'll be able to get away to safely. However, they did force the flicker out of the Ruby, so they don't have to worry about the sudden surprise from the I'm Offended, either pulling them way too far back or for Ruby DD just to show up out of nowhere. It will be an honest, very foreseeable I'm Offended ultimate from the Ruby. Boy, it gets spotted out here. Kun, perfect position alongside Nico. Kun with the petrify. Lancelot brought down really low. 10 still alive, holding on despite the feathered airstrike. And the last hit was not able to take 10 down as it was targeted to another member of Zeta Division. Mythic Seal are gonna need to go for broke now at this point because the Lancelot is down. They're gonna need to try and rush it, but they're still trying to go for the slow take. They think it's way too risky unless they're waiting for the Lancelot to bait him in closer. Entry by Kun, spotted out by Kani. The reset attempt not gonna get completed. Boy, he misses the tectonic charge, and Nico miraculously gets the Lord. A mid laner got it earlier, and another mid laner gets it again. But King Flash falls. 2 members of Mythic Seal are gone. 10 is gone for Zeta Division. Kun trying to hold in front of Kani and Moyminet. The damage of the Yuzhong, the sustainability keeping him alive.
Oh my God.
Boye now able to assist with the Rampart, and Mythic Seal march with their Lord. Zeta has to defend Rockhart.
That was a huge team fight, non-stop action coming in from Mythic Seal and Zeta Division, and for some reason our mid laners are just so damn good at last hitting Lords in this game. And I can't really believe my eyes. It felt like Zeta Division had that, honestly. But then again, it's so hard to take down Kun, especially now that he's actually not as behind as compared to earlier. Looking at the items, yeah, 100%. Feels like you're just waiting for an Immortality and an Anti-Karas there for the Yuzhong, and he's golden. And now it is going to be Zeta Division on the defensive. This time around, just waiting to clear out these minion waves. Bro, this game is starting to really be on a knife's edge.
Everyone knows what it means for the lower bracket finals teams today, that it is an elimination for them. If they're not careful, they will lose out on the tournament. Remember, the prize pool of Games of the Future 2025, $900,000. Even if you're not going to be able to win it all, it's still a massive part of the pot that you get just for advancing forward. Moyminet takes a lot of damage. Traction pulse not gonna land. Feathered airstrike committed by Nico there to bring the Esmeralda down low. Ruby DD trying to look for an opening. Not sure if he actually committed the ultimate there. June 1 goes in with the raging slashes. Here it comes, but look at the Yuzhong straight to the back. Furious dive means 10 did not have any help. They were zoned out by the Yuzhong of Kun. The Furious dive petrify combo, way too tough to get out of. And here comes another feathered airstrike coming in from Nico. Katsu trying to get him down. Moyminet goes forward and creates the space. Mythic Seal hold on to their lead.
Yeah, they're holding on, man. And that's a really good way to swerve around Zeta Division. Again, luckily still has enough tank left in the tanks to try to dash on and dive out of those Urban Ramparts and Feathered Airstrike salvos. Moyminet, oh my god. That was actually pretty close.
Huge chunk of damage dealt there by the shadow kill. But Zeta, they are holding strong. Mythic Seal, though, they keep catching Zeta Division off guard. But it might be inevitable that they will eventually get the win here, as that timing of the entry of Kun is what's messing up Zeta Division. I think if 10 or if any other member of Zeta Division wants to go forward, their main condition is to look for the Yuzhong first. But how is that gonna work if Mythic Seal is already rushing the Lord, and it forces Zeta Division to get close to show themselves? And this is exactly what Mythic Seal wants. Moyminet trying to get the vision and holding down the front line for Zeta. But meanwhile, Mythic Seal take it slow and they go for the reset.
Yeah, it'll be a big reset. 10 is actually the soft, for some reason, right, in this game. 10 is the softest point of this lineup. And look at that, June 1 evaporating like mist.
Just like that? They lined everything up. Tech charge. I'm offended. The feathered airstrike as well. And look at Kun yet again. The black dragon form goes straight to the back. Wind of nature already committed there by Katsu. And that means that it's an easy entry for King Flash. Shadow kill. And Zeta Division is falling slowly. One by one. 10 gets the 1v1 win though against Nico. He still survives. Mythic Seal has 4 members and they will not go for the push. They will go for the Lord.
Yeah, Mythic Seal found that opening and they did not let go. Katsu going down, June 1 going down early, so early in that last team fight, just meant that there were just no way that they were going to have enough damage to actually duke it out against mythicseal. And now zetadivision are going to have to be on the defensive against a very beefy Lord. It'll be a hard time for them to actually clear this. I forget, so beefy. I think like that's Evolved Lord already. And their main DPS is a Kimmy. And we saw how vulnerable this Kimmy is to just non-stop pick-off attempts here coming in from mythicseal. So it's going to be tough to defend. And luckily, they have some time to plan it out. They've got a few seconds here of Braving Room before we get into it. And before the Lord arrives here, the mythicseal are already setting up for the big siege, trying to get those minion waves in order. And this is going to be a tough ask to defend.
Seems like it's way too easy right now for Nico every time to just get into a great spot with a feathered airstrike. But then all the control abilities, all the initiation tools that mythicseal has. Again, one of the problems we have for zetadivision's lineup is that they did not have enough crowd control. And look at all that crowd control. Lock 10 down,
10.
Rampart is up, and the tectonic charge from Boye is the definitive end of this game number 1 as 10 and Katsu fall. mythicseal will have their eyes set on the base. They want to end it here. 21 minutes in. Too much control, too much damage, and way too much bodies to deal with. Win for Mythic in game 1.
That is a very well-deserved win here for mythicseal. Obviously, it's not as clean as we thought it would be coming into this one. But, man, oh man, they knew how to find those pain points. They knew how to find these soft spots on the side of zetadivision. And they were good at punishing any small movements, any small mispositions that the Lancelot or the Kimmy was doing. Again, it helps that you have a